YourTube, hello BookTube. My name's Louise and this is the Big Head Bookworm channel, and this is Yarn Chat, episode 4. I know, is it only been 4? Has there only been 4 episodes? Yes, this is the 4th episode. I counted back. And although I've talked about crochet and I've talked about knitting in various other videos I've done, actual yarn chat, just dedicated time, you and me sat here, you with a drink, maybe something to knit or crochet, maybe just with your feet up, having a rest, and me with some water, because I talk so much and then I get a sore throat. This is my 4th one. Wowzers! It feels like I've been talking yarn with you for ages, but hello! I know, I've done another one quite quickly because I've got stuff to show you and I'm not going to be able to do one for about a fortnight. So I thought if I leave it 3 weeks, then I'll end up gabbling and I'll have too much to show and too much to talk about and it will become messy again. Yes, I've learnt my lesson there. So I thought I would give it a go because I have got stuff to show you and I would do one this week. I know, isn't that exciting? I hope you're as excited as I am. I doubt it because, you know, I get ridiculously excited about these things. But yeah, so here we go. Hope you're having a nice day. Today is Thursday the 8th of February. I won't be putting this up until probably Sunday, just because I've got another video going up later today and I want that to have a couple of days. So this will probably go up on Sunday. So I hope this is going to be a nice weekend video for you that you can just sit and chill and listen to me witter on and show you things. I have got things to show you. Oh yes. For those people that come from BookTube and watch me because I do BookTube stuff, I have got books. I've got crafty books, yes, but then I still have books. I still carry my bookish enthusiasm over into my crafting life, over into knitting and crochet. So I have some of that to show you. And yes, I just thought we'd have a bit of a chat. And also, at the end of this video, I am going to put 1 or 2 either photos or little clips of videos that I recorded when I was doing the pantomime. So when I was doing the Woodland cowl, and I thought I was just going to do vlogs about the Woodland cowl, because I was going to do all of that crocheting, that's a funny word, hooking. No, that's even worse. That makes me sound like I've been hanging around on street corners again. That I was going to include some pantomime stuff, and I never did because I didn't do the vlog because I didn't do any crocheting. There we are. And somebody said, "But what about the panto stuff?" So I thought, yes, I did promise I'd put some in, so I will put some in at the end of this video. So if you're not interested, then you can hoofle off and not worry about it. But if you are interested in seeing me in full makeup, stay tuned, folks, as they say. But let's get on to some finished masterpieces. So it has only been a week since I've seen you, but I have done a couple of quick things which have given me the kind of quick satisfaction of finishing something. Which means that you just want to go and show people. So the first thing I finished was something that I was flying through last time, so it won't be too hard to guess what it is. Yes, it's my cowl. So here it is. So this is the Twix Mas cowl by Louise Designs as part of the Everyday Knitter Academy. And this was to kind of for people to get used to circular needles. So it's a quick and easy, stress-free knit with a lovely texture, which you can see. And I use this Malabrigo. Here we are. Have I got any of it left now? I did have a little bit of it left. Normally I put my little bits left in here. I can't see it. But anyway, I had some Malabrigo left. Not much, but there it is. So if I get my notebook, which I have all my details in, it will tell me. So yes, I used 5mm circulars on a 6cm cable. They're higher sharps interchangeable. The yarn was Malabrigo dos Tiers. Colour Archangel. There we are, that's all the information. And I was worried, I was a little bit worried that because it was supposed to be on 100 centimetre cable and that I found that too cumbersome, and then I tried 80 and then I tried 60, that this would be too tight and it would basically, I've just knitted myself a funnel neck. But actually, it's perfect. Whether or not it was to do the fabric or the way I knit, I wouldn't have said I was a tight knitter, but maybe I am, I don't know. I guess I will learn this, won't I? The more I knit, the more I'll learn exactly. But I wouldn't think you would want a cowl to be much bigger than that unless you want it to be double. Otherwise, it's just a big scoopy thing. Now, I quite like my cowls to be quite close to me. So when I first blocked this, it was even bigger, and it has shrunk a bit as it's dried, which I'm really glad about. It's lovely and soft, and I really love it. I'm so pleased. I can hide if I was wanting to do spying. I could spy like that, so yes. So it might be as a good spy thing. You could also wear it in various other ways, but I'm not going to. This is the way I wear it. So yeah, so there we go. So it just adds a little bit of something. I like the colour. I like, it's not speckled. It's just kind of lots of different shades of this kind of purple and burgundy. It's lovely. It's really lovely. The pattern is created using slip stitches. And I don't think I've done a texture, that much of a texture with slip stitches. So it has worked really well. So I'm really pleased with it, and it is perfect. And I have been wearing it under my coat, or when I've been wearing kind of a fleecy throw-on thing, then that's just gone over the top just to add a little bit of je ne sais quoi to my outfits. Because I'm that kind of girl, quite frankly. Oh yes. So there we are. So that is my first masterpiece of this week. How good is that? And it was a lovely one. It was a really lovely, if you get a lovely knit. If you fancy a easy cowl that you could, you could use it for worsted weight, or you could Aran. This was DK. I think it's just really lovely, and I think everybody would. So if you wanted to get used to circular needles, and you wanted to have a play at something, then a cowl's probably a really lovely way of doing it. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. So yeah, that top notch for me. That was a double thumbs of a thing. And I wrote in my knitting book, really enjoyed. So there we go. So that's me with my cowl on. I know, how lovely is that? So I then only had really 3 things that I was working on. So I've got 2 things to show you here. And I wanted something else. And I wanted another quick project. I didn't start it thinking it was going to be quick, but I just kind of zoomed through it. And if you follow me on Instagram, which, I'd love you to do, and we could say hello, you will have seen pictures of this. But this was a real kind of last minute, I shall put some of this in a ball and I shall make myself this chap. Hello. So this is Alan, the alpaca. I know, look at him. So I'm pretty used to using the animaguri technique, which is where you do continuous rounds in a spiral. And you create toys like that. So you can create toys and figures by using that. You use a stitch marker to note the end of your round, and then you just keep moving it. And it's a thoroughly enjoyable way of creating these kind of toys. I have various books and have made various ones in the past, but I had bought Edward's Menagerie by Kerry Lord, who is, she's so well known now, isn't she? She's the Toft Alpaca shop. And I bought this a couple of years ago, and I think I made the elephant. I think I made the elephant, and I think I made the bunny rabbit, and I think I made a couple of others, and I didn't love it. In fact, I think I threw the elephant one away. For some reason, I didn't particularly get on with her patterns, and I knew it was me, not her, to be honest, because she's so well known and they're so reputable, that I suspected it was me being awkward rather than her not writing good patterns. So what's interesting about them is that they tend to be, a lot of the body parts are standard with just one or two little changes, and so quite often you get make the legs as standard, make the tail as standard, make the body as standard up to this round, and then you add details. So a lot of them are similar body and then you add various details, and then whether or not I just wasn't accomplished enough to do it, I don't know. Anyway, I thought I'd have another go, and I had a look through and I thought I'd make the alpaca. So I'll show you the alpaca from in here, if I can find him. Talk amongst yourselves, 1 second. No, I've gone past him. Oh, that's Rufus the lion. So it's Seamus the alpaca in here, and that's my version. Not bad. If I put his nose up, he's not bad. I probably could put more hair on him. I probably could put more hair on him. And actually, I really enjoy doing the hair. So I probably could go back and put more hair on him. But I'm fine with him. I'm fine with him. So he was just a play, and I've called him Alan, and he's just sitting on top of a bookcase, waiting to go to somebody. Because at some point, he will go to a home, and somebody else will get to play with Alan. Lucky Alan, that's all I can say. So I actually made him out of alpaca, which I thought was very, very apt. Yes. So I used another skein of Malabrigo, and this colour was, let me check my book. You're impressed, aren't you? I've got my book right here. Oh, yes. Have I written up Alan? This is when I find it. Yes, I have even. Sunset. So this is Malabrigo Dos Tierras Sunset. And there he is. There's my chap. Alan the alpaca. Oh. So he is going to sit next to, for the time being, this. Now, I got this for Christmas. The husband felt I needed a new friend, and so I got this, and I haven't named him yet. He's so cute. He actually reminds me of one of my cats, Miss Sally. He has a similar expression. Sally has that kind of slightly vacant look. So we have him. He's lovely as well. He's really, really soft, and I think it's because of all my yarny talk and I think wanting more sheep things around in the house. So yeah, so he bought me that. So he stays in here with all my yarn and keeps me company in here. And Alan, I should put you up there. I should put you there, and you can just sit there for the time being because you look very handsome. So there we are. So I have yet to name you, but that's Alan the alpaca. So that was my second finished object in a week. So I've got one. And I got two. I was flying. So that has left me with not that many things on the needles that I'm currently, that is portable. I think that's what my thing is at the moment. I've got, I'll show you what my my current masterpiece is. My masterpiece is in progress. But I haven't got that many things on the needles that are, or on the hooks, that are kind of small and fun and a bit of intricacy and kind of, I don't know, I feel like I'm missing something. I haven't got everything covered. Now, whilst I am a faithful knitter and crochet person, and I don't like to have too many, I do like to be able to change, because there are sometimes you want to have something that makes you think and that you've got to concentrate on, and that is small and fiddly. I love small and fiddly. Which is why I think I like doing those kind of things, because you've got to keep an eye on, you've got to keep a count all the time, and you're following a pattern all the time. I like that. So that's why those kind of toys are very good for me. So I'm kind of missing stuff at the moment. So I have ordered in 2 things. So I will be starting 2 new projects. I shall talk about one of them with you, and then I'll wait until the other one comes in, and then I'll show you it. Exciting. But anyway, I did finish 2 other things. But these aren't knitting. These are sewing. Yes, I did a little bit of sewing. So I made myself a project bag. So this is my first ever project bag. I watched Hugh Loco Nicole from Hugh Loco, and she has a very, very good project bag tutorial, and I thought I reckon I could do that. So I cut out, so I didn't bother using her templates, foolish, and so I cut this out kind of a bit on spec and had a go at making it, and it's fine, it's just too small, but it's perfect for the zip and everything like that. I also didn't bother doing the templates to do the box bottom. Yeah, now I realise that's why you need a template for that, because otherwise you end up with one bit that's slightly different size. Yeah, I did that. So the bottom isn't quite right. And also my edging, look. And for somebody that is quite comfortable machinist, that kind of thing really drives me up the wall. But as a first go, I was really pleased with myself. So there we are. So this is the kind of thing I like. So I love sugar skulls. So I amuse myself with my sugar skull fabric. I had ordered this Progress Keeper from the Corner of Craft before Christmas, and so I thought it was perfect. So rather than use it as a Progress Keeper, I'm using it as bag jewellery because it goes so well. I've lined it, but I just lined it with a bright colour that goes with the purple off there. So it's just lined with that. And I did a zip because I quite like zips. I might try a drawstring bag. I might do, but I'm quite happy with that. So I'm keeping this as a small notions, as well, quite a large notions pouch for my crochet Woodland Blanket. So that's got my my needle, it's got my hook, and it's got my tapestry needle, and it's got a pen and one or two other bits in there. So it's quite handy as a decent size notions pouch. So it will come in useful at some point. And it is at the moment, and I'm very pleased with myself. And I did put some kind of interfacing in, so it's got a bit of sturdiness to it. And having done it with interfacing, I definitely probably would always try and put something in to give it a bit of stability and bulk. But there we go. That's my slightly large notions pouch, which I'm very pleased about. So in my success, I thought I'd have another go. So I had another go. There we go. So I made a slightly bigger one. This is a better size. I didn't do a box bag because I just thought I quite like it as it is. So I'm trying different things. That's the joy, isn't it, of doing your own project bags, is that you can find exactly what it is that you like and why you would do something and why you wouldn't do something. So I just had to go with that. So that was I bought this fat quarter a while ago to use. In fact, they're both in a set to use as a project bag. I actually put batting in it. I actually put wadding in it. It's just got a plain grey inside, and I do quite like just having a plain. I know some people do but as it's quite jazzy on the outside, I quite like it being plain, but you can kind of mix and match, can't you? So yes, I was better with my, there we are, I did that better. I used batting, I used a wadding inside, and I quite like it. I think if I was to do that, I would probably end up doing some form of quilting, just to give it a bit more stability. Not that it's going to move that much, but I'd probably try and do some quilting, and I may put it together slightly differently so that I could quilt the bag. My zip wasn't perfect. I'm not thrilled, not absolutely thrilled with my zip insertion, but it's absolutely fine. I mean, it works and it's tidy and there's no kind of gaps, but it's not the prettiest, and I know I could do that better. I especially could do that end better. Apart from that, it was fine. I could have put the box bottom in, but I quite liked the size of it. I think if I was going to put the box bottom in, I would I? Yeah, I'd probably make that slightly smaller or change the ratios or something like that. But yeah, so another project bag. So I was so chuffed with myself, and I have just put my little jewellery is a little bee. Can you see? Oh, we can't see. Little bee attached to a hive, and with a little hexagon. So there we go. So that's my little bag jewellery. I've not bothered to put a loop on it or anything like that because I don't really use them So again, that's the fun, isn't it, of creating your own, is that you can make it exactly how you want. So there we go. So that was a very happy Saturday. It took me about an hour or so on Saturday afternoon playing with it and cutting things out and trying different sizes. And I really enjoy that kind of stuff. So that was very pleasurable. So I have 2 new bags. So I have my skulls and I have my letters. There we are. I have in here a whole load of different materials to play with. So fat quarters. I've actually got quite a lot of fat quarters dotted around the room, so I can actually have a go and make some more and carry on playing. So I look forward to doing that again in the future. The next week or so, I should imagine, I shall make a few more project bags, because it's just good fun, isn't it? And there we go. So that was all I made in the week, she says, with her cowl on. Yes, so I made 2 project bags, I made a cowl, and I made an alpaca. Ta-da! I am done. How long am I talking? Oh, right, okay. So, my word, I can talk, can't I? That was it. So I'm now going to go on what I'm currently working on. I'm going to grab myself a little glass, if you want to grab yourself a little sip. Sparkling water in my favourite project bag, which is my Debbie Bliss, and this is kind of really the archetype for me. But it's let her, so I need to do something on the ends. I see. I shall do the ends differently. I'm thoroughly enjoying this. I'm really thoroughly enjoying this, and it is. She says dropping a needle. This is Reef Dive by Stranded Dye Works. And this is sock for the husband. And I was there when I showed you last time. I've turned the heel and I'm now going along the foot. I've probably got about another inch or so, I think. Another inch or so on the foot. And then that will be complete. And then I can start doing the rounded toe. So that has been lovely. I've got my little bee progress keeper keeping me company. So that's where I was last time. I've done that much. So I've done all of that. It's so pleasurable. I did try it on 9-inch circulars and I just didn't enjoy it. Whereas on DPNs, I'm a lot more comfortable and I just enjoy it, and off I went. I'm using it just to mark which was I don't know why I put that on there, but I did. But I put a little sock progress keeper on there because it amused me. So so I've got 2 progress keepers. Sorry, I'm going to have to pick up my needle, otherwise I'll forget. We came very close then, didn't we? Sorry about that. A bit of a shock for you there. So yes, Reef Dive. The husband is so chuffed with the colours, and I don't blame him. I do kind of regret that I'm giving them to him because it's just so lovely. I absolutely love this yarn. Have I got the tag? Yes. Stranded Dye Works. It's on her Fjord base, which is 80/20 superwash BFL to nylon, fingering weight, Reef Dive. If you get a chance to get some of this, I completely recommend it. It's flipping marvellous, quite frankly. I've got loads of progress keepers in here, I've just realised. Yeah, so I've got the other sock ones, which you can't see. There we are. The socks, and I've got various other hexagons and all sorts of lovely little progress keepers in there. So I have been using my sock ruler to make sure that I'm not doing it's not too small, because I make it too small rather than too big. So I have been measuring how long this is, and then it tells me how many inches I need to do. So it's brilliant. I got this from Rosie's Moments on Etsy, and it's got a lovely little sheep. There's this wooden sock ruler. I think it's brilliant. And if you regularly knit for other people, when you can't try it on for yourself, of course, then I think I just think they're brilliant. They means that you're a lot more confident about your sizing frankly. But there we are. So that lives in that project bag. I could move it to one of mine, but I'm not going to. And then the other thing I've been working on, let me show you, is my Woodland Blanket. Dun, 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 dun. It's not really a blanket yet, more of a big wrap. She's not that big a wrap, is it? Hello. So I was there before, where that progress keeper is, where the tree of life is, and so I'm now here. So I have done an extra. I finished off that copper. I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm doing 8. 8 colours. I find I can only do so much of this as a go, and I'm not sure what it is. I don't know what it is about the pattern, about the repeat, that means that I just can't sit there and do it for hours and hours. The neat ripple and another one of her patterns, I can just sit there and go for like 3 hours and just not move. For some reason for this I can't, and it isn't because I have to keep changing colours, because that doesn't bother me. I don't know what it is, but there's something about the rhythm of it means I can only do it for so long and then I have to switch to something else. I almost get restless. I don't know what it is yet, but maybe, I think it might be the second. I think the first is because every colour is 2 rows. It looks like 1 row, but it isn't, it's 2 rows. The first row is all trebles, and then the second row is all trebles as in English crochet terms, and the second is in double crochet, is just double crochet. And whether or not I keep breaking up the rhythm of it'd be better if I was all trebles or all double, I don't know what it is, but it's not sitting as comfortably as some of her other work, some of her other blankets. That's not to say I'm not enjoying myself. It's just not, I'm not picking it up as often as I thought I would. I think that's the thing. But there we are. I can show you. That's the colour system that we've done so far. So it's beautiful. There we are. It's absolutely beautiful. And when I look back at it, I'm thrilled, and I like seeing the colours come out, but I'm not doing it as much as I thought I would. But anyway, I'm still going to carry on, because I'm going to be so pleased with it by the end, because the colours that she chose are gorgeous, and it is looking fabulous. So it will be beautiful when it's finished. I'm just not loving it as much as I thought, which is a shame, but that is life. There are lots of other things that I am loving. So that's it, really. Those are the only 2 things that I have at the moment that I am concentrating on. I have, of course, got my black squares, but I haven't picked them up in the last week because I've been trying to do this blanket rather than focusing on another blanket as well. So that's it. So let me show you some of my books, and I will explain to you what I'm going to be working on. Here is it. So I got this before Christmas, and it's Knitting from the North, 30 Contemporary Hats, Gloves, Scarves and Jumpers by Hilary Grant. Now, Hilary Grant lives in Orkney, and so these are all patterns inspired by the Scottish Highlands, from Fair Isle and Scandinavian knitwear, as long as they're kind of, and it's very much kind of, it's almost like a beginner's, it's like a beginner's introduction to colour work, because they're not complicated. So I've got some other Fair Isle books and other books that have colour work in, and these are just a very good kind of introduction into it and a contemporary look of it. So I'll show you 1 or 2 of the things. So, for example, that's the Arrow pom-pom hat. It's also beautiful because it's taken, all the pictures were taken on Orkney, and they are just glorious. Look at those tied mittens. So they're as it says, contemporary, so they're quite classic. That's the barley hat. So I thought that could be one of my things that I need to concentrate on. So they're more fiddly, and I'd have to concentrate on them because I'd have to be working from a chart, or I'd be following a repeat or a pattern. So, oh, my hair's falling down. So yeah, so I thought I would try that. And also, I have been wanting some fingerless gloves, or I've been wanting kind of wristies, because I'm tall, a lot of tops and coats and what have you are too short. So this part of me is always cold. So this top is supposed to be short, but I would like some kind of cuffs or wristies or fingerless mitts. So I thought, well, I'll do them from here. So they've got quite a few nice kind of like those. They're quite nice, aren't they? Quite classic. Here we are. Oh, I really like these, the arrow cuffs. And hopefully at some point I'll be somewhere and I'll be able to stand holding a pebble. And I too will look like this, holding a pebble in that kind of way. In fact, I've got some pebbles in the other room. I could do that for you if you want. But no, I really like the idea of arrow cuffs. So you put them under your coat and I just thought that sounds really nice, and it will stop my kind of stuff rising up. So I wanted to do this. I didn't have the wool. After all this selection, they're not done in finger. Then most of this is DK, or it hasn't got the tooth that you would need for this kind of colourwork. Is all smooth stuff. So I did consider doing it in the Malabrino because it's not too kind of DK, but I just thought no. So I've ordered some stuff in, and I've actually ordered in the yarn that she talks about. Now, I rarely do that. I'm quite good at just any old yarn that I've got that kind of is near as damn it. Tell no one, that's just between you and me. Of course, I always use the proper yarn. But I thought I would do it with this because they're not expensive. It's not expensive yarn. It's Jameson's Shetland Spindrift. And I wasn't going to do any big projects, so I could just get kind of a couple of balls. So I'm waiting for that to come in. Unfortunately, one of the colours they haven't got, one of the whites, a lot of the whites and naturals are actually out of stock. But I have got one white coming. And so I think the first thing I am going to do is I'm going to try those arrow. I'm either going to try those, because I've got that green and that white coming. Honestly, I went through and wrote down the colours and I ordered them. Yeah, no, I have. I've got exactly those. And I ordered some more DPNs, because that's actually done on DPNs, 2.25mm DPNs and 2.75, and I didn't have 2.75. So I went a bit cray-cray on the odd higher sharps. And I got 2.25, 2.5 and 2.75. And I'm just going to keep these higher sharps for this stuff, for this book, for my colourwork. Some of it is on circular. So, for example, I think some of the hats, which again I have ordered the exact colour. Now I can't find which one it was. It was the green and white one. I showed you it. Grr. Isn't it always the way? If I wasn't talking about it, there we are. The barley hat. I've actually ordered those colours in. And I think that's done on a circular needle. So, yes, 2.75 circular needle. So I have that. So I can do those. So, yes, I'm going to do it on my higher sharps. And I do, for colour work, you want sharp. But no point getting something blunt like Addie's. You want sharp, don't you? So there we are. So that's I can't wait for the yarn to arrive, and then I'll be able to do something like that. And it'll be this kind of weather. It's really cold at the moment, so it'll be perfect for me. So hurrah! So that is Knitting from the North, 30 Contemporary Hats, Gloves, Scarves and Jumpers by Hilary Grant. And it's glorious. It's a really, really lovely book that has inspired me. Look at my hair, it's just fallen out. What other things have I got? Crochet. My friend gave me this before Christmas. Crocheted finger puppets. Now, she's actually used it, but she no longer wanted it. And she thought, I need this to go to somebody. Hello, my lovely girl. Hello, Nan. And she said, I thought of you. And she is darn tootin' right. And it's by Gina Alton. So, maybe, whilst I'm waiting for my colourwork, wool to come in, I should have a go at some crochet finger puppets. But yeah, so that's a lovely one. This is a glorious book. Oh my word. Now, Carrie Westerman, I follow on the social medias, on the interwebs, who's an amazing colourwork designer. And she's just a teacher. And if she's teaching at the Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and it sold out in seconds. I mean, if I was to go to Edinburgh, the reason I would go was A, to experience it, but also to try and get one of her classes, because she is just amazing. So this is just the most perfect book. It is inspired by her lifelong love of books and manuscripts. So it's patterns and essays inspired by books. Could it be any more perfect? I don't think so. And they are glorious. They are absolutely glorious. I've not read all of them, but I have read some of them. And so, for example, she's got the most beautiful, most beautiful colourwork cardigan, which I would love to do. And I would love to do, she's a beautiful lady. She is one heck of a beautiful lady. But I would love to have a go at some of her colourwork as well. So hopefully, if the Jameson Spindrift I like to use it, it's comfortable, then hopefully I will be able to find... Look at those mittens! I will be able to... I would like to be honest, to actually use the books that I have rather than ordering more patterns in. So that's inspired me tremendously. So if you can get hold of a copy of this, it's amazing. It's amazing. Another book I ordered in, which I saw because I want to do a lace shawl for my mother-in-law, Shetland lace knitting. I thought I do love the idea of knitting lace work, but I'm not confident with myself about putting together patterns yet. And I didn't realise until I got this that this is a lot of compendium of patterns that you kind of assemble yourself. So at the moment, I think this is slightly beyond me. There is one or two projects at the back, and there's a very nice shawl that I might well have a go at for my mother-in-law. So something like that might be perfect. The crescent shawl. So that I might have a go at that. But a lot of this is actually beyond me, if I'm honest. But it'll be there for me when I can actually do it, and I feel more confident, which I don't at the moment. How long have I been going on for? Yes. Okay. Right. And then I picked up this Easy Knit dishcloth. Oh, well, you know, there are so many. So the Yarn Hoarder on who's a podcaster and amazing and just glorious. She's doing she's doing a dishcloth a week. So she wants to do 52 in a year, and she gives them as gifts at Christmas or for herself. And I thought, and I was watching Maker's Haven, and she was talking about it, and I thought exactly the same as her. And also, who was the other person? Tracy from Nora George, Crafts from the Third Floor. She was talking about making dishcloths. I mean, there's a dishcloth resurgence, quite frankly. And they were talking about it as well. And I actually had the book in my hands when I was watching it. And I was like, how weird's this? It's like, you know, everybody's thinking dishcloths. That if it was doing the same pattern, if I was just doing garter stitch ones, I'd get bored, rigid doing it. But if I had patterns, I would be more inclined to do a variety. And I just thought I could just see this as very nice gifts. So if you did nice ones and you got some nice... And she was Tracy from Nora George, from Crafts from the Third Floor, was talking about how she'd go to Lush and get a big bar of soap and cut it up, and with a homemade face cloth made out of beautiful colours. And I thought, you know, that is so lovely and so personal. And I love the sound of that. But this one's great because it's got lots of different... It's easy, as it says. But it's got lots of different patterns. And it's the fact it's got different patterns in that I completely love. I think otherwise I would get bored. So there we go. So I picked this one up. So it's Easy Knit dishcloths. £8.99, but I think I got it reduced price. And it's by Hel Benedict Nigard, I think. There we are. So I have got some cotton somewhere because when I was doing crochet, when I was relearning crochet, however many years ago that was, kind of 5 years ago, dishcloths were my first things. So I did quite a few crocheted dishcloths. So I have got some cotton somewhere to start cracking on with those. And I think that's what I've got. Oh, I've got two things to show you, wool-wise. Incoming stock is how I'm going to call this in a bookish way. Now, do you remember me talking about the Curious Project by Sincerely Louise, who I follow on social medias and have done since she started? So she is a designer who does faux taxidermy heads. And I bought some of her Curious projects, and so you have 3 days at the beginning of the month to sign up for something, and you don't know what it is. You just see a clue and you sign up, but you get everything in a tote bag. Now, the Christmas one, when I was recording at the end of November, the Christmas one hadn't been released yet, but I had seen the clue. It had sparkles and paws. And it was, she said it's going to be a special one because it's Christmas. And I thought, well, I won't do it, and then I did it. And so it came, and it is, so you get everything. You get everything in it. So it's an entire pack. And let me show you. They're not available to buy in her shop. It is the Sparkle Lion. Look at that. So it is a kind of scarf thing. It is a scarf thing with a lion on the end. The lion's body. Now, I thought it was absolutely beautiful, and it's very luxurious. So, like the luxury magic mohair. Oh my gosh, it is so sparkly. Can you see how sparkly it is? And it is so soft that I do want to knit it. The only thing is, I don't actually really want the finished thing. I am not going to probably wear a sparkly lion round me, and that colour and my hair do not go. So it's not something I'm going to wear. So I'm definitely going to knit it, and then it's going to be gifted to somebody. So I'm probably not going to do it at the moment. It will be something I'll do later in the year. No, that's for his mane. Can you see how sparkly that is? That is some heck of a glitter going on there, isn't it? And can you see the halo as well? Very fuzzy. That's a bit scratchy. That's not. So yeah. So I am going to do this year, and as I say, you get everything. You get knitting needles. You get everything you possibly could want. You get all the details in here. So I'm thrilled with it, but it's not something that I'm going to actually wear and knit for myself. And although I really want to knit it, I think I'm actually going to wait until later in the year, and then knit it when it's closer to Christmas time. And I suspect it, so kind of September, October time, I shall knit it. And then I shall probably gift it to somebody, actually. But that will be very lovely, because I will have the pleasure of the knitting and the playing and what have you. And then I'll know it's going to go to somebody who will properly love a sparkly lion around their shoulders. Because although I do like sparkly lions, that is not for me. But I was still really, really chuffed with it, and I still am, but it's not something I want to work on right at this moment. So I have that there to work on. And the other thing I've got is that big bag of Stylecraft stuff. So when I was doing the blanket that went into the husband's car, I just needed the smallest amount of pomegranate. And I couldn't find it anywhere. So I decided to do an order of Special DK. And these are the colours I got. And I just thought, 2 secs, I'd go through them. If you don't want to watch this, no worries. If you do, here we go. So I've got Storm Blue. So I'm just going to show you them. So it means I can put them away, basically. So Storm Blue, Then this is fuchsia purple. It's more of a pink, but that one is walnut. It's quite nice, that actually is a brown. That is quite lovely, isn't it? Ooh, plum. Ooh, yes. Ooh, yes, sir. I like that. Bosenberry. That's nice, isn't it? That's a good colour. Ah, lovely. Aspen. Yes, I've already used aspen before. It's actually slightly more green than it's showing there. This is gorgeous. It's called Empire. I just think that is heavenly. If I could find something that I could use that in, I'd be a happy lady. Grey, which I needed another grey for my woodland cowl, and then this is the last one, and it's the most exciting coloured, dark brown, and it's upside down. There we are, dark brown, and it is just dark brown. So there we go. So that was that really. I just wanted to catch up to date with my collection of Starcraft. So I shall pack. I'm going to actually sort those two out because that's all Starcraft special DK, and it just needs to be sorted out because I like it to be a bit tidier than it is now. So there we go. That's it. I'm going to love you and leave you. I've shown you new books. I've shown you finished items. You've met Alan. I've shown you my new project bags. It's very exciting. Very exciting. So currently, at the moment, I am working on my woodland cowl. So I should trog along with that. So if I do kind of between 8 and 10 in a week, then I will get through it. And I'm sure once it gets bigger, I'll get more involved. And I love doing edging as well, so that'll be fine. The socks for the husband, there's no rush in finishing these, but I am enjoying doing them. So I should imagine I'll finish those. I'll finish that sock in the next day or so, and then I can start the second one and have it in my bag as kind of going out knitting. I'm really hoping my Colourwork comes in quite quickly, so I can get on with that and I can play with that, and then I'll feel happy because I'll have something fiddly for when I want to concentrate. Excuse me. And then I have something else coming in, which I shall show you when it comes in. It's not majorly exciting, actually. I'm making it sound like it's just absolutely amazing. But it always is amazing for me, but you'll be like, oh, very nice. But I'm excited about it. So yes, that'll be good. So there we go. There we go, Yarn Tube. I hope that's been all right. And I hope you've enjoyed the little visit here. I've actually changed the room around so that I'm sat in a different space. So I've moved my yarn all away from the window so that it doesn't get the sun on it in the same way, because I was a bit concerned about that, especially on the natural stuff, and on the indie dyed stuff. I didn't want that getting sunlighted and then fade. So there we go. So I'm going to love you and leave you now, and I'm going to just insert the little bit of Panto footage that I have. I didn't get that much actually, but you should be able to see me a little bit. Well, it's been lovely, Yarn Tube. Let's do this again, and I look forward to seeing you. Bye. Well, hello, it's Saturday lunchtime and I'm sat outside our village hall waiting to go in and start to get ready for this afternoon's pantomime. I'm first one here. It's terrible weather. Not that it matters, we've sold out anyway. So, crochet update, I've done none. None, not one little bit. It's ridiculous. I have just been
I just haven't been able to concentrate on it. I've been doing some other knitting, something I'm very close to finishing something, and it's been perfect stuff to just kind of, you know, take my mind off stuff, or if I want to relax. It's just it's garter stitched, and so I can just sit and do that. So although the crochet is a lovely pattern, for some reason I feel like I've given myself some pressure. So I'm now over 2 weeks behind, so I'm going to have to extend my blanket adventures, which is lovely, so it'll be no problem. I should get up with it. So I should show you the village hall where I am. I'm actually stood because it's raining so badly. Here we are. Can you see behind me? It's a rainy, wet day in Cambridgeshire. Yes, and I can't get in. When I go on stage, I like to get there good and early. I obviously am the only one who likes to get there good and early. So yes, so hopefully I'll be able to pick, this is our final day today, and hopefully I'll be able to get some more footage. Bye. Update, somebody's come along and shouted, "Is nobody else there?" I said no. And she went, "Oh, I'll go and get the keys from the pub." I'll show you our pub. That's the village pub. That's funny, you get kind of, so that's the village pub over there, and that is the husband and somebody else.